Alright, the first thing we're going to do for this one before we take the derivative is to rewrite that square root as x to the 1/2 power. Then we notice that we have everything raised to the same power. So when we take the derivative, we're going to be using the chain rule. Okay, so we're going to bring the power out to the front, write down the inside as is, and then multiply by, or reduce the power by 1 before we do that. So the power was 5, now it becomes 4. And now we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of x to the 1/2 power will be 1/2 x, reduce the power by 1, so we get negative 1/2. And of course the derivative of 2 is 0. And we're going to choose to leave it just like that. And that's it. Alright. For number 13, we're going to use the chain rule again. We have everything in parentheses raised to the same power. So we're going to use the chain rule here again. Alright, so we're going to bring down the power to the front, so that's negative 3/2. Write down the inside of the function as is. Then reduce the power by 1. And of course, when we take negative 3/2 and subtract 1, that's subtracting 2 over 2, we end up with negative 5/2. Then we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside. So that would be 2 times 3, that would be 6x squared, reduce that power by 1. And then negative 6x, reduce that power by 1. And then the derivative of 1 is 0. And we're going to choose to stop right there with the simplifying. Alright. Number 14, we can't use the chain rule because we don't have everything raised to the same power. We have this group raised to the power of 2, but the top group has nothing to do with the bottom group. So we're going to use the quotient rule first. So that's the denominator as is times the derivative of the numerator, which is 1, minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. Now, taking the derivative of the denominator here, we will need to use the chain rule. So we're going to bring the power out front, so that's going to be 2 times the inside of the function as is, reduce the power by 1, and that's just 1, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside function. So now we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside function. So the derivative of the inside function would be 2x minus 1. Then we're going to divide all of that by the denominator squared. So we're going to raise this, which already squared, but then we're going to raise it again to the power of 2. Alright, let's simplify a little bit here. So h prime of x is equal to x squared minus x squared. We're going to leave off the times 1 because anything times 1 is just itself. Minus, so we have a single factor of 2, so I'm going to pull that to the front, and I'm going to write the groups behind it. We have 3 groups. Doesn't matter the order of the groups there. And then, of course, when I take something and I square it, and then I raise it to another power of 2, then we're going to multiply those exponents. So that's x squared minus x, all of that raised to the power of 4.